Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are so glad that you are all here to celebrate Shabbat and Tu B'Shvat, the new year and the birthday of the trees with us. My name is Rabbi Jennifer Weiner. I am the rabbi at Har Sinai Oheb Shalom Congregation in Baltimore, Maryland. And we also have with us Rachel Wolman, who is going to be leading us in prayers and song tonight. Please join in from your homes and let's have a wonderful Shabbat celebration together. Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Rachel. I am so excited to sing with you all. If you're ready to sing, let me see you move your hands. Yes, we look like we have so many friends who are ready to sing. Let's bring them up high. Let's bring them down low. Let's bring them in front of our face and away from our face. Put them towards the sky and back down. Very good then. We are going to start off getting our bodies ready this morning with a song I like to sing called Shabbos is Here. So I'm going to sing this part for you and then you'll know exactly what to do. It goes like this. Shabbos is here. Shabbos is here. I'm so glad that Shabbos is here. Let's sing that all together today. Shabbos is here. Shabbos is here. I'm so glad that Shabbos is here. So first, I'm gonna stomp my feet. I need to see you all stomp your feet. We're gonna stomp our feet. Oh, that was some great feet stomping. Cause we're so glad that Shabbos is here. Shabbos is here. I'm so glad that Shabbos is here. I'm gonna clap my hands. Let me see you clap my hands. Clap those hands. Cause we're so glad that Shabbos is here. Shabbos is here. I'm so glad that Shabbos is here. I'm gonna pat my head. Let me see you pat your head this morning. We're gonna pat our heads because we're so glad that Shabbos is here. Shabbos is here. I'm so glad that Shabbos is here. I'm gonna do all three. So we're gonna stomp our feet. We're gonna stomp our feet. We're gonna clap our hands. We're gonna clap our hands. We're gonna pat our head. We're gonna pat our head. Cause we're so glad that Shabbos is here. That was perfect. I think our bodies are ready to go, which is perfect for our next prayer. So this is a special prayer we sing to get ourselves ready for this beautiful Shabbat that we have here together. And so this is known as our call to worship, which means it's getting our minds ready, our hearts ready to sing together. So the first part, it's so easy. We're just gonna sing Yalalai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Let's sing Yalalai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai. Next part we have in English. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalalai, yalalai, lai, lai. 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 That was some great singing and swaying. So for our next prayer this morning, we're going to do something called the Shema. So I'm going to need everyone to repeat after me so we know what all of our Hebrew words are. So Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And so we're going to sing that one line together. And I invite you to sit up a little bit straighter in your seat, wherever you are. Take a nice deep breath in. This is a special prayer saying that we have one God and God is one. And some people even like to close their eyes. So if you feel comfy with that, please do that. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Let's do that one more time. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And so for our next prayer, very good. Our next one, we have this prayer called the Ve'ahavta. And what we're going to do today, we're going to sing it in a repeat after me style. So I'm going to sing the first part, and then you'll sing it right after me. And you shall love Adonai with all your soul and all your mind, and teach these words day and night to all your children, for it's their right. We do this next part all together. And wear them proudly as a sign upon your hand, and as a crown above your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates throughout all times. Let's do that again. Repeat. And you shall love Adonai with all your soul and all your mind, and teach these words day and night to all your children. It's their right. All together, wear them proudly as a sign upon your hand, and as a crown between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates throughout all time. I need everyone to raise your hand up really high. Raise your hand up really, 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 really high, please. And bring it down behind you. Give yourselves a pat on the back. That was amazing. You all were the biggest, strongest trees I've ever seen for this Shabbat. And so we're going to end our Shabbat service this morning with our Shabbat blessings. And we have a special class who will be leading with us today. All right, so remember, repeat after me, and I'll point to you when it's your turn. Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech
Eloheinu melech
haolam
ha'olam
asher kidshanu
asher kitanu
b'mitzvotav
v'mitzvotav
v'tzivanu
v'tzivanu
lehadlik ner
lehadlik ner
Shal Shabbat. And our next blessing will be over the grape juice or wine. So we'll pick that up. Perfect. And repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Eloheinu melech haolam
Borei Peri Hagafen. And last but not least, we have our challah, which is my favorite part of Shabbat. So let's do that blessing all together as a repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon, Shabbat Shalom. That challah looks amazing. I hope you all get to enjoy.
Honey's Circle of Trees by Phyllis Gershatter. In the hills of ancient Israel, there lived a man called Honi. Honi was a wanderer and a doer of good deeds, and on his back he carried a sack. The sack was filled with carobs, shiny brown fruit picked from trees his grandfather had planted many years ago. When the carobs were freshly picked, they were soft and juicy and sweet as honey. As the days passed, they became hard and dry, and the smooth seeds rattled inside. But even after the carobs grew dry, they were sweet and good, and stayed that way for a long, long time. Honi ate dry carobs from his sack. Then he planted the seeds. He planted carob seeds wherever he wandered over the land of Israel. And so it was that all across the hills and valleys, from Judea to Galilee, from the big sea to the great desert, sturdy carob trees spread their branches. Honi's trees bore fruit for man and beast, food for the traveler, sweets for the children, and fodder for the animals. Honi loved animals. Animals, even wild creatures, loved Honi. When he stopped to rest in the evening, the animals gathered around him. The wild, howling jackal laid its head on Honi's lap and yelped happily like a puppy. Shy gazelles nuzzled up to him and nibbled carobs from his hand. Sparrows settled on his shoulder. Swallows swooped and circled overhead. Snakes and scorpions nestled at his feet, and while he slept, the animals stood guard. One Friday, as the Sabbath grew close, Honi came to a village in a valley. The villagers welcomed him, inviting him to pray with them and to share their Sabbath feast. After the Sabbath, when the evening stars twinkled in the sky and the candles burned low, Honi and the villagers sang songs and told stories late into the night. In the morning, Honi was on his way again, planting carobs. That same day, a man from the village and his children stopped to watch Honi. "Hello, old man. What are you planting?" "Carob seeds," Honi answered. "How long will it take for the trees to bear fruit?" asked the man. 70 years, Honi said. 70 years? Do you expect to pick the fruit?" "Of course not," said Honi. "I will not be alive in 70 years. But my forefathers planted trees that bear fruit for us. And now I am planting trees for those to come, those I will never see. My children and grandchildren will remember your good deeds," said the man. "What is your name?" "Honi." "The Honi they call Hame'agal, the circle maker?" "Yes." "Ah, Honi the circle maker," exclaimed the man. "I know of your magic, and when you stand in the middle of your magic circle, you can ask the Lord for anything, even rain. I remember once, when the cisterns were dry and the earth was as hard as clay, you brought rain to my own village. But now, Honi Hame'agal, the sun is high. You must not work too long and hard in the hot sun. Honi took the man's advice. He lay down behind some rocks to rest. The rocks felt cool, and Honi closed his eyes. As he drifted off to sleep, a cloud settled over him. It seemed to carry him away, higher than the snows of Mount Hermon, higher than the migrating storks flying over land and sea. While Honi slept, the sun rose and set more times than one can count. Old stars exploded and new stars shimmered in the skies. While Honi slept, generations were born and generations died. While Honi slept, the Torah, read from the beginning to end every year, was read over and over 70 times. When Honi awoke, the cloud melted away like the dew. He heard voices calling, "Carib, sweet Carib." Honi sat up to see men, women, and children picking carobs off a nearby tree. He rubbed his eyes and stretched. His beard was longer and wider than he remembered. His clothes older and mustier, his carob sacks in shreds. "I don't remember seeing this beautiful tree before," Honi said. "It was planted in the days of Honi Hama'agal," a man replied. "But I am Honi Hama'agal." "Oh no, Honi died a long, long time ago. The sun must be too hot for you. Why don't you sit here in the shade and try to remember who you are?" "I am Honi Hama'agal," Honi repeated. "I was planting carob seeds just yesterday. I spoke to a man and his children, and then lay down behind the rocks and fell asleep." "Come with us, old man," the carob picker said. "Come home with us." The children let Honi ride their little white donkey. Swaying on the donkey's back, he looked curiously this way and that until they came to the village. And it was the village in the valley, but many of the buildings were faded and falling apart. Many others were new and brightly painted. Could they have been built in a day and a night? Wondered Honi, while I slept. When they reached the synagogue, Honi stopped to say his daily prayers. He expected to see his old friends. He hoped they might be able to explain the day's strange events. But Honi didn't recognize any of the men in the synagogue. "Where is Saul the weaver?" Honi asked. "Who?" "Where is Uriel the carpenter?" "Who?" "Avram the shoemaker, where is he?" "Who? Are you in the wrong town, old man?" One of the men spoke up. "I knew Saul, Uriel, and Avram when I was young, but they died many years ago." "What did you say your name is?" "Honi Hama'agal." "Honi Hama'agal," explained the man. "But that is impossible. I met him when I was a child, more than 70 years ago. Even then he was a very old man. He told my father he was planting carobs." "I am Honi Hama'agal," said Honi, "and I plant carobs." "How can that be? Doesn't he know who he is?" the villagers asked one another. They thought Honi was making up stories. Honi was so sad he walked away and drew a circle on the ground. He stood in the middle of the circle and said, "Oh Lord, I never bothered you with my own problems, but the people do not believe that I am Honi Hama'agal. Why did you let me live beyond my time? Why didn't you take me while I rested by the rocks?" Honi bowed his head in sorrow. All of a sudden the truth came to him. He lifted his head and tears of joy sparkled in his eyes. "Now I understand," he cried. "You have given me a gift few receive. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. You have allowed me to see my trees bear fruit." Honi drew his last circle in the ground. It grew larger and larger, ringing the land with its magic. And Honi's circle keeps growing wherever people plant trees for their children and grandchildren.